Can you believe it if I told you that some mythical creatures actually exist in our oceans today? Sounds unbelievable, right? That's why in today's video, I've gathered 12 mythical creatures that exist in real life. Some once ruled in the deep seas, while others have been spotted closer to our shores. This is part 2 of the series, and honestly, the last creature on this list will leave you completely speechless. But one thing, before we dive in, let me know in the comments where in the world you're watching from. I'd love to hear it. Alright, let's jump straight into it. The first creature on our list is the Megalodon, a shark with a massive size of up to 60 feet long. Its jaws could crush a car, and its teeth were the size of a grown man's hand. It hunted whales, sharks, and even other sharks. This beast was so powerful in the ocean that nothing could rival it. Fossilized teeth and bones have been found all over the world, in Europe, Australia, the US, Peru, and even Japan. Some of those teeth are so well preserved that they look like they could have come from a shark alive today. That's why some people still believe that this monster is still out in the ocean. Today, Megalodon is all over pop culture. Movies, games, documentaries. But the main question is, does a shark this big actually exist? And the answer is yes. It was real. It really swam in our oceans, and maybe that's why it's still one of the scariest sea monsters ever. The next creature on this list is the Umibozu, which means the sea monk. Sailors believed he appears after the storm ends, and the water becomes quiet and foggy. He is described as a huge, faceless shadow rising from the sea. Some say he has arms, others say he is only a giant head. Same goes for his size. Some say he is as tall as a sail, while others say he is as big as a mountain. And with just one move, he could sink an entire ship. There are also stories about the Umibozu that if you spoke to him, he would ask you for a bucket. If you gave him a normal bucket, he would use it to sink the entire ship. The only way to survive was by giving him a bottomless bucket, which would leave him confused for a while, giving you enough time to escape. Today, Umibozu still shows up in anime, manga, horror stories, and video games. But the real question is, does it actually exist? Science says no, but the legend is still alive, and Japanese fishermen still fear him in stormy weather. The next creature on our list is the sea eater. It's described as a massive sea creature with dark, shapeless, smooth skin, like a seal. It has no eyes, just a huge mouth that takes up most of its head. Witnesses claim it can be the size of a bus, or even bigger. The first stories about this beast came from Scandinavia and northern Canada, when boats started vanishing in calm water. No waves, no splashes, just gone. The sea eater doesn't attack with rage. It simply appears under the boat, and then the boat suddenly disappears without a trace. In modern times, it's rarely mentioned. You'll only find it in fan theories, forums, and a few indie videos. Almost no one admits seeing it, and the ones who do never share details. So, does it actually exist? Science says no, but the ocean is vast, dark, and unexplored, and if the sea eater is really down there, it knows how to hunt its prey.
The next creature we're going to talk about is kraken. The kraken isn't your normal octopus. It's much bigger. It's often described as being the size of an island. The kraken comes from Scandinavian folklore, originating from the sailors. According to the sailors, it would sink their ships and drag them under to devour them. But does this legendary creature actually exist? Here's the crazy part. In 2025, a giant squid was filmed alive for the first time at a depth of 2,000 feet. In the South Atlantic Ocean. So we can say it does actually exist. Meet Gran Maja, first described as a giant sea serpent over 675 meters long. That's more than twice the size of the famous Bloop. Some say it has grown even bigger, now over 6 kilometers in length. Its body moves like a huge snake. The head is shaped like a whale shark, but with a wide open mouth filled with sharp, yellow, needle-like teeth. 6 small, pale eyes sit in a half circle across its rough, reddish-brown skin. It lives far below the surface, in the dark part of the ocean where sunlight never reaches. So does the Gran Maja actually exists? We don't know. More than 80% of the ocean has never been explored. So maybe Gran Maja isn't hiding. Maybe we just haven't gone deep enough. Next one on our list is the Indus Worm. Over 2,000 years ago, Greek historians wrote about a giant worm that crawled through the Indus River. They said locals hunted it for a rare oil, an oil so dangerous it could catch fire the moment it touched air. No one has ever found proof it was real. No bones, no remains, not even a clear sighting. But in the past, giant creatures did exist. One was called Arthropleura, a millipede-like animal almost 3 meters long and as wide as a bus. It moved through ancient forests in a time when bugs could grow far bigger than today. Maybe the Greeks saw strange fossil remains. Maybe they saw locals using flammable oil from the land and guessed it came from a living beast. The rest? That could be legend. Or maybe the river still hides something. Meet the Bloop. In 1997, scientists recorded a sound deep in the ocean. It was so loud, sensors over 3,000 miles apart picked it up. At first, they thought it was ice cracking, or maybe underwater volcanoes. But the sound didn't match anything they knew. That's when the stories began. Some imagined a prehistoric sea monster. Others linked it to Cthulhu, the giant creature we'll talk about next. Years later, scientists said the Bloop was most likely ice quakes. But not everyone agreed, because we've explored less than 20% of the ocean. And in the deep, a sound like that could mean something else. The next one is Loch Ness Monster. For centuries, people in Scotland have told stories of a strange creature living in Loch Ness. They say it has a long neck and moves through the deep water like something from the time of dinosaurs. No one has proved it's real. There's no clear evidence, no confirmed recordings. The most famous proof was a single photograph taken in 1934 by Robert Kenneth Wilson. It showed a dark shape in the water with a long neck, but years later, it was revealed to be fake, a toy submarine with a plastic head. Still, the legend hasn't died. Some believe it's a prehistoric reptile called a plesiosaurus that somehow survived extinction. The next creature is the Levithan, an ancient sea monster mentioned in myths and even in the Bible, described as so powerful that no human could ever defeat it. Some say it looks like a massive snake. Others see it as a huge sea creature shaped like a dinosaur. The strange part, most of these descriptions sound the same. Scientists don't believe such a creature exists today. But 50 million years ago, a real giant snake lived. It was called Titanoboa, up to 50 feet long and almost 3 feet wide. It moved through warm, swampy rivers and was one of the largest snakes to ever exist. In 1959, a helicopter crew flying over the Congolese jungle claimed to see a giant snake on the ground below. They said it was over 50 feet long and even tried to strike at the helicopter. A photo from that flight is still shown today. Was it a surviving Titanoboa? Maybe. Some believe it's some unknown species we haven't discovered yet. The final creature on our list is Titanoboa, a snake longer than 2 buses. It could grow up to 50 feet and weigh over a ton. It lived around 60 million years ago in the tropical swamps of what is now Colombia. There, it was the top predator, hunting large fish, turtles, and even young crocodiles. It didn't kill with venom. It crushed with enough force to snap a spine in seconds. Titanoboa was only discovered in 2009, when its huge bones were found in a coal mine. Some of its vertebrae were as big as a human head. Today, its skeleton can be seen at the Smithsonian Museum, but online theories spread. What if it never truly disappeared? Could something that big still be hiding in the Amazon? We don't know. A large portion of the forest is still unexplored, and scientists find new species every year in the Amazon rainforest. If you enjoyed the video, liked the video, and subscribed to the channel.